You know. Hello, this is Stephanie, and this is the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I just wanted to let you know about something that's a little new here at the Mocha Minutes Podcast. We are now participating in Buy Me a Coffee. So if you haven't heard, buymeacoffee.com is a place where you can show some support and some love monetarily to some of your favorite content creators. That includes me. So it's in the increments of either $1, $3, or $5, and you can do as many as you would like. So I just wanted to let you guys know, would love some support. So if you would go to buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. It will also be in the show notes. Okay, here we go. I found out what I've been missing. Always on the run. I've been looking for someone. Now you're here like you've been before, and you know just what I need. It took some time for me to see that you give good love to me, baby. So good. Take this heart of mine into your hands. You give good love to me. It's never too much. Baby, you give good love. Welcome back to the Mocha Minutes Podcast. This is Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with the jump off. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. Okay. Thank you for joining me again. It has been a minute. The end of 2021 was a rough one for not just me, for a lot of people. It just had to take a break, had to exhale, had to enjoy quite a few binge shows where I turned off just my brain for a little while. And I've caught up on a lot of stuff. I cannot confirm nor deny. I have watched Encanto since it dropped on Disney Plus 34 times. I cannot confirm nor deny that. Okay, it could be 33. See how that works? So I've been enjoying. We still do not talk about Bruno. No, we don't talk about Tio Bruno around here. But we do talk about Dolores, my favorite Madrigal. Okay. Shout out to Mirabelle. So I am back. And to bring me back, I had to bring my Aries sister. She's so fiery. She know where I live. She'll just show up in my house. And next time I'll just wait. I'm like, let me go hide. Let me change my address. This is my address now. No, it's not. Because if you had moved, Stephanie, you would have told me. Damn it. But I have Miss Taria from What Else Is Going On? How are you?
Hi. First of all, I love your intro to the entire podcast. Now you give good love in my head. I might have to sing that in Mr. Faison's ear tonight.
Wait a minute. They ain't nothing baking, but they still gonna be like mixing some dough. Y'all better watch out.
Exactly. The dough may not rise, but we will be rising. Okay.
Ain't no dough resting around here.
Exactly. So number one. Number two, like I said, I love your intro. And thank you so much for having me. There has been a lot going on in these streets. So I have been determined that I'm going to come on here.
Please do.
Keep it concise and stick to the point, because we could go for hours. And I could really go for hours with the amount of stuff that's been happening. But more so the reactions, because the stuff that's been happening ain't new to Black folks, okay?
Nope.
Be very clear. But the reactions, we're not even really surprised at your reactions. We were just hoping better for some of y'all.
Yeah. I think I did this. I said this a while ago, and it's a little somewhat of a mini viral tweet and there was something else that happened racially. And I said, it was something racist that happened. And I was like, I just want to let y'all know, we aren't surprised, but that doesn't mean we're not disappointed. It's like, we can be like, well, the thing about it is like, we're not surprised by when we see racism. It's just, but we can still be disappointed. I'm like, I don't want to have to see this.
Yep. And we're not surprised when people low key roundabouts okay it.
They're like, they kind of dance around the word. I'm like, girl, if you don't stop.
And can I say something? I'm just going to jump. Speaking about dancing around the word, I need to be clear on something. With this Jenny post and everybody waiting for the cast of Salt Lake City to speak up, I need to say something. I don't recall everyone waiting for them to speak up on what happened last year. Not George Floyd, but Black Lives Matter. Because I need y'all to understand there's a difference in posting about what happened to George Floyd was horrific and horrible, and hate shouldn't be tolerated, and silence is violence. But I didn't see BLM, because people know that BLM, or feel like BLM is a statement. I mean, lest we not forget Shannon Medora talking about how she doesn't talk about BLM.
It's political. Girl, get out.
So when people are looking, y'all are looking, it's almost like people who want to rid themselves of white fragility or white guilt, which we did not put on you or demand you to carry, by the way. When they see these white housewives speak up and say what happened to George Floyd is horrible and hate should not be tolerated, stop the hate, everyone deserves equality, that kind of changes things for y'all. Well, at least they spoke up. When I don't see BLM, that tells me a lot. And I'm just going to be honest, because that's the movement that was surging again. BLM. That's what people were saying at the rallies and the protests. But y'all just, it's almost your way of talking about it, but not really going into it. So you posting about George Floyd and being sorry and saying, stop the hate. I mean, that's easy. That's easy. And as Stephanie said on my podcast, which will be out on Friday, she said something very critical. She said, allies have to be prepared to lose something, not give something up, because giving something up is different than losing something.
Yeah. It's like, you got to be prepared. It's kind of like, don't say you're an ally, but you want to keep that, very problematic family member, friend in your circle, in your space with the people that you're saying you're an ally for. No, your transphobic cousin should not be hanging out with you when you're going to enjoy the happy hour with your trans friends. That's not going to happen. It's like, or tell them like, hey, if I let you come here, please believe, don't you say anything problematic to these men and women that I'm coming to spend time with. I'm not doing this with you. But also, it can't be birds of a feather flock together and think that that doesn't apply. That's not applicable to you. That's applicable to everybody. So if you have a lot of people who hit every like bigoted branch on the tree that is white supremacy, then you might want to look in the mirror like, wait a minute, should I be in this circle?
And are you the root?
Right.
Don't you know it?
Get to the root.
Get to the root.
Audio.
And a sidebar, Stephanie, you have one of the prettiest smiles. You really do.
Thank you. Tell your single friends.
I just don't want to look at it the whole time. I want to see your face. Okay, thanks, because I'm looking at your picture. And I will tell my single friends.
tell Corey's single friends. You probably don't got no single friends.
We got single friends, honey. We got friends. There we go.
See, she a mess. How's she gonna come on my podcast and say, turn the fuck fucking camera on. Like, bitch,
every time.
Yeah, it's so cute.
I'm on yours.
This picture's cute, but girl, I need to see your face moving.
Stephanie said, "Oh my gosh, thank you." But I'll look at it.
But this is not a compliment, bitch. Turn the fucking camera on. Like, wait, what?
Well, because it's the truth, so it's not a compliment because it's the truth, but it is a compliment.
Oh, sidebar, y'all. I went to Taco Bell, right? Because you know how they were like, people were like,
you did not try them wings.
That wings are discontinued. I was like, what? Was this just for Kwanzaa? What the hell? It's like, they gone already. I thought they were gonna be here at least to like spring.
Yes.
I was like, oh, is the chicken wings that? Oh yeah, they discontinued. Bitch, what? They weren't that good.
And I heard Subway was trying to come out with something. If y'all don't,
excuse me, they don't even cook the dick. Nope, I'm not slandering Subway on this podcast
because I had it last night.
That's the I really love the teriyaki chicken. So I love that one, but also I like the veggie patty wrap. I'd be like, what is it? It's not meat, y'all, but it says veggie patty anyway. So
right.
I mean, I don't know if y'all thought it was going, but it's really good. Right. And apparently it's a local thing to us in Maryland. I'm like, local? This is local? Because it's like, you look at the menu, was like on the local part. I'm like, huh?
Veggie pat? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't that? Look, I don't know. I don't go to Subway that often. So,
you know what's not local?
What?
But worldwide? Racism.
Say something.
That's on a lot of menus.
She's like, you know, it's on it. Racism with a side of white supremacy. He's like, wait, what?
And fragility for dessert.
And sprinkling some white privilege. I don't have that. I pay bills. That's not how white privilege.
That's not how white privilege. I had somebody tell me my mom grew up poor, ma'am.
So we're talking about socioeconomic status, girl. What?
Right. That's totally different.
Y'all don't know nothing. Okay. So, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have a round table. It's probably be me. So welcome in as we go, probably Reality Rainbow as well.
Mm-hmm. And Bishop Brandon.
Let me tell y'all, yes, and Bishop Brandon and his soon to be done podcast. He ain't started yet because that man is busy.
Yes,
putting the thigh meats out as he travels around. I'm like, excuse me. First of all, I have some past due invoices because him. I said, so Thursday is thigh meat Thursday. Don't make me fine you. And I kind of fell off. So they're just sitting in the pile. It's past due invoices. I know Brandon listened to this. So he'd be like, what the hell? Like, yeah, just put them out there. Okay? Just put it out there. I don't care. And I will say, shout out to Brandon, because he was the first person to tell me about Encanto because he got to go to the premiere. And I was like, how was it? He's like, oh, it's so cute. I'm like, it is. And I'm like,
you just know.
So is.
Oh, Encanto. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, you know, I don't do movies. But my family does, so by proxy. But I was like, Encanto. Oh yes, I remember. Okay,
yeah, because he went to the premiere, because you know. And I was like, how was it? Oh, it's so cute. I'm like, he said there are plot holes, but it's kind of like anybody who's seen it goes like, what?
So, all right, so I have to tell. But still, Corey
we don't care because you know, and this is my other gripe. So, Encanto is really good. I also, if you would have Netflix, I like Vivo. Okay. Both of these animated films.
Okay.
Their soundtracks were done by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Now, these are both, you know, Latinx. But I noticed that in both of these movies, there are different shades or hues of Afro Latinx people. I'm like, so y'all can draw them, but y'all can't find real life people.
Let me take
for In the Heights and West Side Story. Yeah, I said it.
Yep.
I was like, so y'all can draw them.
But you can't find the people.
Can't find them in New York City, in Washington Heights. Nowhere. Are we being serious?
Or right casting, now? If you can't find
you can't do like a national casting search. I'm like,
girl, listen.
Y'all think we stupid, don't you?
Yes, they absolutely do think. And some of us and some of them are. Mm-hmm. And the words of Lawrence Fishburne at the end of School Days, wake up. And when y'all wake up, disclaimer.
When y'all wake up.
On my door, talking about I woke up and start calling out certain people. Either you're going to be about it or
no.
Period.
Either do it all, either mention it all, or shut up.
Or shut up.
All right. So
we don't need to be schooled. I'm sorry, I have to say that too.
You're not schooling me on nothing.
On nothing. I don't need you to give me your comparisons.
I don't care.
I don't need any of that. I am a Black woman. We are Black women and men that have walked through life. Am I saying every single day I step outside, somebody says, you're a nigger or you're this? No, not every day, but I've had enough of it to probably add up to most days. But I do go in hair stores now and I'm followed, and I go in other stores and I'm followed.
Still followed.
Notice, depending on how I dress is how I get treated. So we're not going to act like it doesn't happen. So what I don't need you to do is come in our inboxes telling us how Jenny needs grace, telling us how this one needs grace, telling us how people need to grow.
Nope.
We know that.
That's part of growing up. You are growing until your heart stops. Period. So you can always learn something. You learn something new every day.
Yep.
Don't play us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. Okay, so y'all know why she's here. So me and Taria, we watched the Bravo. We've been watching it with our Black ass women eyes since its inception.
Yes,
so we've always seen it.
Always.
Okay. So I guess in June 2020, I guess the white people who watch Bravo started seeing it. I'm like, okay. So, and we have the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. There's a lady on there who allegedly stole some money, but she's not at the center of this franchise. She's not the center of the storyline. It's literally like we went basically damn near 2/3 of the goddamn season without even really making her a focal point.
Nope.
Beverly Hills, take note. But the storyline is Pastor Mary Cosby, or associate pastor, or co-pastor, or the minister at that church, and I don't know what her title is, but she is a pastor. I don't know, she's senior pastor, whatever the hell she is. I'm sorry, Lord, I don't know what she is. I can't be saying pastor and curse words, y'all. Let me through it. So she is, and I have contended this with Mary Cosby. Mary Cosby's, because of her station in life, she typically is above reproach. She sits in a bubble where people just want to help you. You are the teacher. You're never the student.
Yep.
I peeped that very quickly because we are both folks who grew up in a Black church, and everybody know at least 3 Black women and about 12 Black men who act that way. And they've always acted like that. So it's like, she is not a unicorn to me, but this season, because she was out of her closet and more, ready to tussle with the girls, all of a sudden people started freely calling her church a cult. In Salt Lake City, Utah, home of Brigham Young and the Mormon Church. And I'm just like,
and said it as if it was fact. It's a difference in saying I believe
it's a cult.
This is fact, and doing it based on rumors. But can I go back to something you said? Mary is not a unicorn. Mary lived in a bubble. Something that you said that we talked about before we hit record that I feel like the people need to know is you said they allow white women to live in a bubble. People will say, oh, they don't know because they're in a bubble. But Black women aren't allowed to have been in a bubble because people forget there are all Black neighborhoods, because that's where we're fighting voter suppression right now, as a matter of fact. So there are all Black neighborhoods, people that have not been raised around other cultures, okay? Because they've been raised around their cultures, but we're not allowed a bubble. Y'all make allowances
for that grace to grow and be taught. It's just like, y'all should just know, because for a lot of people, the face of someone who's out there fighting for social justice is a Black woman. So y'all should just know better. And it's like, that's not how humans work, and that's not how adults work. There's a lot of things that have gone on in all of our neighborhoods of stuff that we said when we were younger, and we definitely shouldn't say it anymore.
Thank you.
How long did it take RuPaul to stop using the T word to talk about trans women? And he's how old? And he was like, he didn't really want to change. Now, mind you, how old is RuPaul? No one's saying like, oh, you should just know better. Because some people are like, well, I do the same thing. I'm like, yeah. So y'all give it, I guess it's like PRN when it comes to these standards as needed. It's sporadic. Y'all don't care. It's like, but when a Black woman is like, y'all should just know better. It's like, that's not how this works. And that's why y'all can't give Mary grace when she fucks up. So let's be very clear. No one I will say no one on this podcast. We are speaking. Nobody, because it's like people are like, well, I'm like, no, I'm not explaining this.
Right.
So and this is the disclaimer that I have to keep saying, no one is saying what Mary Cosby said was okay. Because it was not. Because when she said the whole Mexican cartel thing, I was like, Bernie Madoff is like right there.
Yes, I was telling somebody he said that like he was right there for the grab.
He's like right there. Or you could have said, how are you comparing me to a criminal? Criminal does not have a color or an ethnicity or a race. However, Mexican cartel does.
Yes.
And it's like, you're out of line. And it's like, she's out of line and she should have took that back. And it's like, okay. So then it comes to what she said about Jenny. She said, oh, I like your slanted eyes. And it's like, girl, what? How do you not know this? But then it's like, because she does not know that.
Exactly.
And the bad part about it is, y'all didn't say anything when she said it. Oh, Mary, that's not what you say. But also Heather called her an anime character. And it's not that I want people to actually have an issue with this too. But I heard her when she said it. She said, and I like your yellow undertones. You said that to an Asian woman? Not warm undertones or cool undertones. You know how it's usually described. Girl, why would you say yellow undertones to an Asian woman? She just had no idea.
She had no idea.
And it's like, what? And the bad part about it is, it's like, there weren't enough people to sit there and say something to Mary. It's like, girl.
And I'm going to be honest, because they didn't care until the audience cared.
Well, of course, wait, because Meredith's like, I mean, I don't know if it's because.
Yeah, Meredith said, I don't know if it's offensive. Jenny just told you it was offensive.
It was offensive. So the thing about it is, it's fine for Jenny to bring it up to Mary, but she should have pulled her aside and like, let's have a discussion. But when you don't like somebody, you have a problem with them off rip, you're not going to be that mature to do it. Right.
And even if she had it in front of all the girls, it could have been a teachable moment. But Jenny, we knew before this stuff came out. Me and Stephanie talked. We knew.
I was like, what is it about her? I'm
we knew that moment was not.
It wasn't a
teachable moment. It was a I got you moment.
See, let me tell you about how you ain't shit. So, and I know Bishop Brandon is listening to this because I talk about this on Clubhouse a lot. When people are talking about their offense, they're talking about there's a difference between intent and impact.
Yes.
You don't need both. You don't need intent to impact someone. You don't need that. So when people say that wasn't my intention, it doesn't matter what your intention is. You just harmed me. So that's like, I'm so sorry, that wasn't my intention. Your intention doesn't matter. Your own, when it comes to offense, you're usually talking about the impact.
Yeah, because I've often said, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. Instead of, I'm sorry.
That's it. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
And if I truly don't understand, I can say, I am so sorry. Can you help me so that I don't offend again?
Even
That's
realize.
A difference. Yeah.
And to Mary's credit, she did say, I didn't even realize. I'm sorry. This is what she did. She wasn't saying that wasn't my intention. She's like, I didn't know. Because it doesn't matter if you intended it or not. If it's offensive to her, it's just offensive. But then I watched the tide of, and I have to say it this way, the tide of the hashtag. That's the show title. Tide of the hashtag. So the thing, when you looked at it, all of a sudden, these folks who just woke up to racism on June 2020 was literally trying to have their sermons on the Mount.
Oh, Jesus.
About how Mary, like, this is it. That is the last straw with her.
And saying that she was racist.
She's racist. She needs to be fired. She just like, ugh. And the thing about it is, when it comes to this, it's like, why y'all can't say, I'm like, what Mary said was racist about Jenny. She's made racist statements. But there's a level of power that Mary Cosby, no matter how powerful she is in her church, she don't have. What Mary Cosby said racist about Jenny? Yes. Is her statement about Mexican cartels, or is that xenophobic? Absolutely.
Yep.
Is she racist? No. Because there's a lot of people who say like very offensive shit if you were like in an oppressed group and you say something about another oppressed group, what you said is racist. It doesn't make you a racist. It makes your statements racist. I know. You're like, no, but no, shut up.
Thank you.
I'm not having this problem. I'm not having, girl.
And for those of y'all who feel like it's okay to call it whatever, it is not okay, because you cannot say you want to be educated. And hey, people listen to Black content creators, because I see a lot of that too. Y'all need to listen to Black content creators when they're talking about these things.
But when we talk, you don't want to listen.
Exactly. When you say it doesn't matter what I call it, it does matter what you call it.
It matters. It matters quite greatly, especially when y'all be dancing. Y'all be literally doing the cha-cha slide around these white women being racist on Bravo. Y'all definitely danced. Y'all were doing the choreography from We Don't Talk About Bruno when it came to Stassi, Kelly Dodd, Vicky Gunvalson, Lou Ann, Ramona.
Vicky Gunvalson, who imitated a Chinese
y'all
man.
Move so weird. I'm like, y'all were locked in step. Like, no. It's just, she's just learning. I'm like, y'all will literally bite your tongues until you bleed to not call these white housewives racist, or they are doing racist shit. Yep. But y'all were so quick to do it to Mary. And I was like,
so quick.
I don't like this.
At all. I don't like last season.
It's like something about this is odd. And then, you're like, oh, let's fire Mary, that. Then all of a sudden, and I'm wondering, we ain't seen Jenny's niece.
Sure have.
Now I sound like Whitney. What if Jenny's niece, the one from TikTok, she had a TikTok, she had a video up saying, Jenny is a fraud in this. What if she is the one who released the stuff about Jenny's Facebook page? Oh my God, I got chills.
And Jenny's niece, I'm glad you brought that up. People were quick to want to dispel it.
They said she a goddamn liar
that went on YouTube about Mary, even when they're saying different things. And another thing, y'all watched this video that the cousin did about Mary on this other YouTube channel, and y'all was doing deep dives and posting stories. But some of y'all, I've heard y'all say y'all not gonna watch the one
with her
mother.
That's saying that she is the victim. I said,
they don't want to watch
how
that.
Very interesting.
How very interesting.
And honestly, she looks just like her mother.
Just like her mom.
I was like,
somebody said, "Oh, how wouldn't it be funny if that was Mary with a wig on?" No, that's called melanin.
Hello, that woman. She came out of that woman's hoo-ha, and you ain't gonna tell me nothing different. But I saw this because I had
that, didn't you? I said,
I was like,
look, now how biased of you? Yeah,
right. Because the thing about it is, when it came to the whole Mary thing, and they talk about like, Robert C is really the most. So why are we not going after Robert Singer? And the only person that's going up to her is Mary's stepfather and her mama. I don't. It's like, this is so weird. Y'all want to paint her a monster. I'm like, if it's two of them and it's Robert Singer, why y'all not going after him?
Right, because y'all don't go after Ashley. Y'all go after Ashley's husband. Okay, y'all don't go after Ashley. Y'all say, I feel so bad for Ashley.
I don't.
She willingly laid down with that man.
She had no problem shaming those victims. Well, they ain't had no problem before. I was like, I'm good on you, girl. And everybody's like, why do you have an issue with Ashley? I have an issue with anybody.
Thank you.
That literally will victim shame victims that your husband can't keep his hands off of. And it's not like we didn't have video evidence. It was in the background from season 1. We all saw it, but we didn't pay it no attention until somebody said, you see this? I'm like, y'all acting like this was like dropped footage.
Right.
It was on the goddamn show. It's probably not there now.
Right.
It's probably not there now. But it's probably gone.
Just like Kenya is not there wearing that Native American garb.
Interesting. They were able to edit her out so quickly.
So quick. But I'm sure Jenny will be there. Just like they were able to edit Pete out for from Below Deck for the racist images he was posting of Black women. Okay.
It's like, and the thing about it is, it's like, y'all know I love the boat show, but let's be very clear. The minute I saw it, I'm like, this is huge. It's really not. It's a deckhand that's probably not going to be coming back.
Thank you.
And he's not interior.
Thank you.
He's not integral to the story. I'm like, it's easy to edit out a deckhand. Let the rubber meet the road when you got to deal with your chief stew calling someone and What you gonna do with your chief stew is throwing out racial slur?
Because she wants to fit in, but wait, she didn't remember she said it.
I didn't remember I said it. I was just doing it to fit in. I didn't say that. And it's like, oh my God. Hi. I'm so sorry. Bitch, you're not even looking at her. It's like, girl, can I just go enjoy my pina colada?
No, I
don't want to have to deal with this from you.
Can you imagine if Mary had said to Jenny, I don't want to talk right now, what the backlash would have been?
They'd have been like, no, I don't want to talk to you. So, y'all, so Miss Jenny Wynn, who had no problem, she was a part, when Bravo had those, they had those videos about AAPI hate, which, by the way, they should have. But this is now, this isn't aging well, her video.
Yes.
It's like, girl. So we found Jenny Wynn's, somebody found her Facebook page where she was sharing. This is from her Facebook page that she said that she had deleted. She didn't.
Nope.
She was showing very offensive posts about George Floyd, about Black people protesting.
Blacks, girl. If that comes out, I'm sorry. If that comes out of anybody's mouth other than someone Black, that sends me. And we say it as like making fun of y'all saying it. So y'all, Blacks, we don't mind
the Blacks because
girl. The tone when somebody says the Blacks, unless it's like the last name and you said, "Oh, the Blacks have arrived."
The Blacks. Now, some of these posts are from 2020. I just want you that y'all know we are in January of 2022. That's not even 2 years. So here's the deal. They filmed last year, meaning this shit was up last year. It was up and it was stuck because she tried to say she deleted it last year. Until shout out to Jamie from Jamie That's Me from YouTube, who said, girl, I was like, why are you lying? I was on that last week. What you doing? It's like, yeah, people were popping her bubble real quick. So they found everybody found a Facebook post. And then this was Jenny's statement. Now, when this came out, because she put in her, like, it wasn't like the thing that Mary had that looked like something from Michael's, the craft store, but she took that down, which she needed to. I'm like, girl, do better. You can do better than that. She was, because she was in spaces going, I didn't even realize how crazy that sound. And I will tell y'all, listening to Mary Cosby in Twitter Spaces, it's like two different people.
Different person. It's a different person.
She just seemed all sweet and nice. I'm like, see, this is the person, your parishioner, your sheep. That's the person they go to the back
exactly.
For. The one that I hear. I'm like, she's like, if I make a mistake, I'm just saying I'm sorry. I was just saying I'm sorry, move on. And I'm sitting here like, and that is kind of how she did it.
And that's the thing. People criticize it because it looked like, let's get Mary's Canva looking apology, but she did it. Jenny is lying in her statement.
Yeah. So anybody, this is her statement. If y'all, I mean, it's not like y'all probably didn't see it, but I need the context because hello, this is Mocha Minutes. We talk about nuance. We're adding all the shit in.
Yes.
Okay? So this is Jenny's statement. I want to acknowledge and apologize for my deleted Facebook post from 2020 that resurfaced today. At the time, I thought I was speaking out against violence, but I have since learned how offensive and hurtful my words were. It's why I deactivated that account more than a year ago and why I continue to try to learn about perspectives different from my own. I regret those posts and I'm sincerely sorry for the pain they caused. I'm sorry. She's so shit.
Can I say that I was on Mixing with Monty's Patreon and
I love her.
She's had 2 housewives before all this came out. They were talking about, I guess, their process for the show. And the 2 different housewives said that someone from Bravo sits down with them and they go through all of their social media and they tell them what to scrub.
Girl.
To make them look good, what's going to make them look bad.
Girl.
Me that. But what is interesting is like a day or 2 before that, I got a DM from a housewife that wanted to know if the posts were real. And I'm going to tell you what the DM said. And then after Monty told me what he said, it all made sense.
Oh my God. I did not see. I can't wait. This is going to be a blind reaction to what she's about to say. I just want to let y'all know.
The DM said, if you're going to be on this show, you'll clean up your old messes. If you don't, you know, you don't know it's a mess. And that is when you know that's how they feel. Meaning she didn't scrub it because she didn't think it was a problem. Then she said, but I feel like the ones who cover it up are even scarier. But again, true colors always show. It's a matter of time. She said, if you're going to be on the show, you'll clean up your old messes. And then it gives context to what Monty said, where she had Bravo sits down with you. So if Bravo did not sit down with Jenny, it's because they already knew what it was. And I have a feeling they also know when these things are going to. I feel like Bravo has a way of creating controversy on the backs of trauma that people suffered. So, and it's hard for me to believe that Jenny was the only one they missed going through.
Because that's the other thing. And I think that's for fans, that was their issue. I'm like, wait, do y'all sit here and go through their stuff?
Yep.
And it's like, they do. Like, oh.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're like, so if they went, y'all probably thought nobody was going to go looking for her Facebook page. So y'all actually did know about it. Allegedly. Hello, I'm like Les. We're in a big bubble of alleged. So yeah, her stuff came out. And the thing about it is a lot of different Bravo pages posted them. So you have seen them, but they're just gross. So here's the thing. So then this comes out, and then I saw again the tide of the hashtag. Many a person was like, well, I guess, but Mary Cosby is still shit. And I was like, wait a second.
Right.
Hold up. Because now we are talking about intention with the impact.
Yes.
So the thing about this is, if we're going to, this is not how God weighs sin. Sin is sin.
Yes, it
don't matter. Sin is sin. We are not talking about that. When it comes, sin is weighed evenly. And when it comes to God, you know what, y'all? I'm not a theologian. I'm not, but I know that.
But you know that, yep. And that's in the Bible. When
it comes to this, what Mary did and what Jenny did repeatedly, because it wasn't just one thing. It was several different things. It's not even the same parking lot as what Jenny Wynn did. So the fact that folks are trying to like somewhat excuse it or say it's just as bad as Mary is super weird.
It's super to even bring Mary up. Because it's like, y'all not bringing
that's
up
not the same thing.
Right.
It's like, that's nowhere near the same thing. There's nowhere near it. And the thing about it is like, I don't know why y'all trying to somewhat say like lessen it. Like, well, I'm like, girl, fuck y'all. Y'all not gonna, because y'all went scorched earth on Mary.
Yes,
and folks literally kind of just was laying like the flammable liquid on the ground and was holding the match. They ain't lit it till like 2 or 3 days later.
And then for them to be saying they both can go. But I thought we were letting people grow. Because if they both can go, there is a lot of both can goes. If we want to compare, And people say that Mary shouldn't be on TV because of her mental health. And you could say,
y'all don't know her fucking mental health.
That pisses and poops everywhere. Pissed in somebody's driveway. Always talks about a marriage that was years ago. Broke the fire extinguishing holder in a hotel.
And y'all didn't even show that. Y'all showed it in a flashback. As much as I love the straw that stirs the drink, I know why y'all didn't show that. Because you knew Sonia would have been in the wrong, and y'all know it. If Rashawn had been wrong, y'all would have just shown it.
Oh, they sure would.
Y'all can't tell me no different. I'm like,
they got mad at, but they wanted Rashawn going because she called Sonia, rightfully so, a clown who performs. Y'all wanted her gone. Y'all white women wore the costume. Y'all went to visit a place where the first slave ships were. The first slave trade ships
under the Salem witch trials. Like, you know they had slaves too, right?
And put on the garb that they wore. When Ebony said, I'm not getting ready to do that.
Wearing indigenous jewelry.
Girl.
Jewelry that's probably made by indigenous hands. Girl. And this is just cute. I think it's appropriate. I'll wear it here. Bitch, what?
And let's not say the ladies didn't know what garbs they're wearing. There was a conversation.
They goddamn knew.
Yes.
So after the unearthing of Jenny being literally all of those posts, for a lot of folks who were Team Mary, or better yet, like kind of squinting at the TV, like, why does she have this much energy?
Because
for Mary. I was like, what? And it's like, because in a bus, remember the bus ride where Lisa's like, Google it, and they got into an argument. They were working it out, and I don't know what was going on. And Jenny just started yelling.
Jenny walks over and says, shut the F up.
Shut the fuck up and let's go. And she was like, do not curse at me.
And
don't curse at me.
There may be cultural differences. Because like I tell everybody, if me and Stephanie were arguing, two Black women, and somebody came up to us and said, shut the F up, we both would give them.
Like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Look that Mary gave Whitney when she was trying to talk to Jen, and Whitney kept inserting herself.
She's like, stop talking. Stop talking. I got this.
We would have been like, who you talking to?
Who you talking like, hold on, time out. Who the fuck do you think you talk? I am talking to Taria. Do you mind? Can you stay over there?
Notice she did that to Meredith and Jen. They are two totally different people. There is not too many Black women that I know that would be okay with somebody walking up saying,
and telling them to shut the fuck up.
Mary was completely right in saying, don't curse at me. She's lucky that's all she got from Mary.
Because the other thing for me was that Mary, I'm like, Mary's on this reality show, but let's be very crystal clear. She's a pastor. And I'm like, as much as I have said and giggled at people alluding to Jamal Bryant being a whore, I would never do that, which is why I was like, when Moni called him Pastor Holy Whore, I'm like, would you want somebody say about that, about your pastor?
I would never, right.
Jamal Bryant could be a lot of things, but you don't like, that's something about disrespecting a pastor in that way bothers me. So I would not be sitting around cussing in front of a pastor, especially if I know she heads a church.
And we have not heard Mary curse at all. She said a lot of other things, but she ain't cursed.
Exactly. I'm like, does she curse on this show? She don't. Because the minute she did, y'all be like, but you're a pastor, Mary. Yeah. Why are you cursing?
And nobody peeped. To me, when Jenny walked up to Meredith and Jen and said it, she had no idea what was going on. I said she was wrong. So she was wrong and nobody is peeping her energy.
Right. Because the thing about it, she only kept that energy from Mary. And then Mary was like, don't curse at me. And she wasn't yelling at her. It's like, you don't tell me what to say. Why is she? What the hell is going on?
And then got to that lunch and Mary gave her 0. And I was so glad.
I'm like, Mary, I'm not doing this with you. You're not going to loud talk me and like jump shitty with me in a parking lot. We cool. I'm good on you.
How many times have you had to do that, Stephanie, at work or in surroundings with people that don't look like you? And you like, I can't even give you nothing. Because if I give you anything,
anything, I am the angry Black woman. Let me just be walking away from you before I'll be blowing up on your ass. Mm-hmm. Mind you, Candy said that to Nene in a Black event. It's like, let me walk away because I would still look like the angry Black woman, even if it's basically a majority Black event. Yep. I would still, because these cameras are being shown outside of our little Black ass bubble in this room. Y'all gonna say I'm angry and I fight because that's what you girls do. At least that's what Bethany said.
That sure is what he said. The one they want back in New York.
I'm like, no, I'm good on her. No.
The one
Abby
that
would
talked
have
about
cussed
Cardi
her
B,
ass out. She'd be like, girl, shut up.
I would have.
She'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Almost like snatching out weaves. It's like, you mean like yours?
And then somebody said the Atlanta women. Somebody said the Atlanta women always talk about weaves. That's the Atlanta women.
And also, no, they don't. It's like, and also,
when they talk about wigs,
y'all favorite fancy pants from Beverly Hills, Miss Vanderpump, always talking about her fucking clip-in. Shut up.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like y'all don't have the same energy. And can I go a step further? If we're talking about Bravo as a whole, James Kennedy can say the most disgusting things to people, call them fat, unprovoked. And then when he is provoked, he says disgusting things. And y'all say there's just something about that James Kennedy.
We love white Kanye.
Hubbard can get activated and y'all call it, oh, she's getting activated. Or last season, y'all said she blows up on Stravy because of her past, which I get, but y'all love her.
Babe,
but y'all have a problem with Candace Dillard.
See, that's the thing. When it comes to Hub House, because she and I have the same birthday. So that is not her past. She's an August Leo. And Stravy did something to her and she's been holding that shit in. It's like, fuck this. Ooh, how many sandwiches have you made for me?
Just like Candace when she went off on Mia.
Candace is a December Sag. I am not going to do this with y'all because I'm sorry. TikTok Mia, I'd have laid her ass out. I'm like,
hello.
Let me tell you something. If you don't get you and your reg, this is not shake and go. I know that's some good weave in your hair, girl. Flip that shit and get the fuck out of my face.
Exactly.
It's like I'm not throwing like 3 pieces of lettuce and you throw it. You take your big old hands, not man hands. You just got big hands. Yep. I have somewhat big hands sometimes, but you also had nails on them, so it made your nails. She has long fingers. I'm not saying man hands. Hands just big. You literally took that big old hand of yours and threw it in her face. You're like, see, she deserved it. No, the fuck she didn't.
No, exactly. And can you go back to the hand? Can you go back to the hands thing? Interesting how so many people are calling what Candace did transphobic by calling Mia's hands and feet big, even though Giselle said it
because she said your handsome ass alone. She meant it as shade, but y'all took it too far. I'm like, yeah, but
exactly.
It's like, that's not, it's like, but y'all just throwing away words.
Have y'all heard anybody say that about Alexia, who was at an LGBTQ plus event and was standing next to her husband and was screaming, that's a man, but ain't not a peep from anybody saying Alexia was transphobic, that was a woman, not a peep.
Y'all like, y'all body shaming Ashley. Ashley talked about Sharice's saggy titties. She talked about, Candace called her a squirrel face. She has talked about Karen. Just to a certain extent, it's actually leave Giselle and Robin alone, but it's like Robin will beat your ass. You better shut the fuck up before she. See, you know what? Y'all going to like piss her off. That she like, you know what? Fuck this. Exactly. Fuck these hats. I'm gonna kick your ass. So let's be very clear.
And Robin,
you had said one more word. Yeah. You have been mopping. They would have been glossing the floor with your blood in that alligator restaurant. You better leave her alone.
So they'll give a pass to Robin because she's white passing, pretty much, or not white passing, but she's.
I'm about to say white.
Enough. Yeah, she's not white passing. No, although she did say people. A guy thought that she was white.
Biracial.
I'm gonna go ahead
because they probably think that she thinks she's biracial because she's so light. And I'm like, she has 2 light-skinned parents. I don't know.
Thank you.
I was like, that's another discussion. That part in biology.
I need white people to listen to Black people on that too.
But that's the thing. Not for nothing. Katie is the one who did that. It's like, see, you just like Katie. And I'm like, ma'am, it's not the same
thing. The same thing.
And I know many a light-skinned Black person who it's like it feels like it's 2 schools of thought for light skin. And y'all, this is just my experience. It is not scientific fact. From the people that I have met, there's 2 light-skinned people. One light-skinned person is like, don't you fucking call them light-skinned because they think like you're trying to say I'm not Black.
Yes.
That's what they hear. And it's the other light-skinned people like, oh, you just jealous because I'm pretty. And it's like, girl, it's like, there's like some people like, no, don't say that I'm, no, I ain't light skinned.
Yes.
Because that means it's like, if you saying I'm light, that means I'm, for some, and this is just in my experience, when they hear light, they hear you're white. And it's like, that's not what I said, because I know there's a hue to blackness that I thoroughly enjoy.
Me too. I love
seeing the hue, because every part of that hue is gorgeous.
Same.
I don't, and the thing about this, because I've never, even when someone has just one black parent and they talk about the one drop rule, I'm like, hey, stop using tools of white supremacy against other black people. Because let's be very clear, that rule is for us and indigenous folks. They did the same thing. Y'all better read that law, because it was black, it was Negroes, and at the time Indians, because people had no idea what the words they want to call people Indians. We're not in fucking India. They're not in India. What the fuck are you talking about? But it's kind of like, it was like one drop. You could not, it wasn't to make people black and indigenous. It was to make sure they are not considered white, because they know what privileges it comes with. So when I hear people just throw it, it's like, they're not trying to put you in blackness, they're trying to keep you out of whiteness. It's like, y'all want to do this and say, y'all just want to be black. I'm like, they don't want them to be white.
Exactly.
And it's like, but it's like, if we the shit, why don't everybody want to be us? I'm like, I don't have an issue, but let's be very clear, because it's always like, y'all just let them in here. I guess we don't want to have the conversation of how some black men shit on black women, and they let these non-black women in who don't like black women, or think that a black man bringing them in saying, I'm with her because black women are not this, they're loud, they're this, they're that. And like, you don't hear that. That's not a compliment. Because let's be very clear, he don't seem to really like you either. He just like that you're not black.
I was going to say, and I don't think that for any woman out there that is non-black, and you take a little bit of pleasure, or you've heard black men say that black women are too loud.
Like, bitch, shut up.
And then you want us to comfort you when he leaves you. But if you've heard a black man say, black women are too strong, black women are too loud, they think they can do everything, please know that they're calling you weak. Okay. If they're saying black women
too sassy, they too independent, but y'all will call black women gold diggers when they're like, I have no problem staying home and just cooking and cleaning.
We cannot
It's
win.
like, it can't be like, wait a minute, I'm too independent because you act like you don't need me. I'm like, see, here's the thing. See, here we are. Here's a tangent, and we're going to go back to Bravo.
Yes.
But let me just say this for y'all, because I said it in front of a man. And he said, I like the way you said that, because I've been trying to tell men that. I'm like, please understand what need signals. You need to breathe. So it doesn't matter what kind of air you get, as long as you get air. So you will take anything. There could be something funky, some old cabbage in your house, that perfume that you don't like. I don't like the smell of lavender, but I love the color. It's so weird. I hate that smell. But hey, I need to breathe, and lavender's in the atmosphere, and I got to breathe it. So here's the thing with need and want. There was a time up until the 1970s, a woman could not get their own bank account without some man signing on it, meaning I needed a man. There's a lot of things we could not do on our own because we needed a man. Let's be very clear. In the 1860s, 1870s, Black men were able to vote. So these white women who are talking about women's suffrage is like, we were just trying to be equal to our men. No, you weren't. You were pissed that some nigga could vote before your ass could. Because the minute y'all got it, it's like, okay, back to business. Racism.
And left the black women on their own.
And because they were mad that them black men were voting in other black men. We're going to get some black people up in here. They're like, no, we got to take them to town. We need to have these taxes. We got to ask them to count jelly beans.
Yep.
What do you see in this jar? Pick a number in my bread from 1 to 45.
Giselle's father was on his way to vote, and they stopped him and made him recite the preamble, was it?
Correct. So
and it was legal.
It was legal. Hello, mind you, it's like in the so women needed a man in the home. And then things started, like more people thought that we can get what we wanted. Because like, why we have HBCUs? Because y'all wouldn't let our nigga asses in the school.
Thank you.
They're still here. But notice, it's historically in the South.
Yes.
Not really on the West Coast. A few in the Midwest.
Yep.
Maryland is a Southern state. Ask me how I know. We have HBCUs and we're below the Dixon line. Girl, I don't know what to tell y'all. It's like, there's not really up north. It's not really HBCUs. The South.
No.
And some in the Midwest, but the majority of them are in the South. Why do you think that is?
Mm-hmm.
So we think like we're getting like affirmative action that mostly benefited white women, but y'all don't want to have this conversation.
Say that again.
Don't want to have it because they didn't want y'all asses there either. They wanted to keep it the white boy club, and that's it. So now we have Black women. We're the big demographic of new entrepreneurs. We are the most educated. So now, technically, because it's not a financial need, because I can make my own money, I can have my own bank account. I can start my own business without independent of your ass and take care of myself. But now I want companionship. I don't need a burden. And sometimes a man who literally is not supportive of you and does not help you, does not love you, does not like you, like you as a person. That is a burden. For some odd reason, we tell Black women, love ain't real if you ain't struggling. Right. Bitch, I am not Florida Evans. Why are you pitching like, oh, you got to struggle. He got to be ain't shit. Why can't I want my prince come? Right. Why can't I say someday my prince will come? Why are we feeding this to young Black women that it's got to be there's strength in the struggle? Girl, fuck you.
And the ancestors that came before me, some of them gave their lives so that we did not have to. So even this theory with parents of, I had to walk to work, so now you're going to have to walk to work. No. When you can help them out, when you see that they're trying to help themselves, what is it with this struggle mindset? And Stephanie, you talked about back in the day, women needed a man in the house. Mm-hmm. They also don't want to have the conversation that when Black people started coming up, but may have needed a little assistance from the government, just like white people did. All of a sudden, the new rule was the man can't live in the house.
That was systemic. But the thing about it is, y'all don't blame the system, you blame the women. It's like, wait a minute, hold up.
Yes.
It's like, wait a minute.
Why are you getting pregnant? Why did you have a baby?
Right. It's like, y'all love Brother Malcolm, but forget that quote. Y'all love Tupac, but can't recite the lyrics to keep your head up. It's like, y'all love these Black missionaries until they say something that you don't like. Then all of a sudden they simping for pussy. Because the thing about it is, in your mind, the only reason why to be nice to a Black woman is to get something out of her.
Thank you.
You can't just do it because y'all both Black and we supposed to be uplifting each other. Now there are some Black men like, can we call a truce? Why? Because you down bad?
And let's be clear, it ain't just Black men. Now you have white women using Black women to get information out of them, to be educated about some things. But then when they feel like you might be educating them a little too much, white privilege shows up.
It's like, okay, girl, that's enough.
They feel like they got to school you about something. Man, which is what I go back to. Don't tell us about grace. You don't have to tell me.
Please don't. I don't care.
About your family member that said X, Y, and Z and compare it to a Black person on Bravo saying X, Y, and Z. Like I don't think that you and I have a lot of white friends that we love. Look, I sound like somebody. I have Black
some of my good friends. I'm kidding. We are not going to say
exactly. We are not.
But here's the thing: when it comes to friends, if I am comfortable enough to talk about my experience, you are my friend. If I feel like you may not be somebody that I could have this conversation in front of, I will let you know you're not my friend.
And if I tell you, you cannot say, we need to listen to Black content creators and I'm thankful for your perspective. But then when I give you a perspective that makes you uncomfortable.
That challenges you.
And challenges
it's like, girl,
thinking,
you got too much dip on your chip.
Yes.
I'm here for you. Why are you coming after me? Because what you saying is some bullshit.
Yes. That is what I have a problem with. we're not going to.
It's conditional.
It's conditional because we're not going to say that only a certain segment of Black people get grace to not understand things, but the rest of us should know. I am 45, 44, and things have changed, and we grow and we learn what we didn't know. Learn. I'm thankful that I have my 24-year-old, my 20-year-old, my 24-year-old daughter, my 20-year-old son, and my 17-year-old daughter. Because there's been many times when I've learned from them because I didn't know. But to a white person, it would be, you talked about being called nigger. You should have known that. How would I know?
I know that.
But my kids have somehow found out and they've known. And again, I had somebody tell me they never saw a Black person until they were 10. There are some Black people that lived in all Black neighborhoods. So if we say something culturally offensive, we absolutely need to be corrected, but don't correct us with an air of
it's like you should have known better. Like you ain't taught me shit.
Exactly.
So you remember the documentary? I think it's in Our Mother's Gardens.
I heard it.
Yeah, it's very good. In the middle of it, I cried. I'm like,
okay, today I need to watch it.
Yes, it's really good. It's a lot. It's very just good. It's good meat. You don't spit out too many bones. Okay. I will say that. So Brittany Cooper said something about boundaries and taking care of yourself. And so she said, folks want you to care for yourself only to the extent that it doesn't inconvenience them. It's like, girl, if that ain't the truth.
Now that's
they don't have, like, Taria, they have no problem getting on your podcast and talk about them other people that's doing wrong. But the minute they turn it to you, it's like, wait, I'm exempt tonight. No, girl, you are not.
Or it goes silent. Oh, now we're not having a discussion.
Oh, now we're not having this discussion.
Okay,
now we're not going to do it. Oh, we now. Okay. So Jenny's stuff came out. And then I'm putting this in quotes, the statements come out. So,
oh boy, people done got Shazam.
So here is the Wild Rose. I'm not going to read it in her voice because I can't. I'll scream laugh. Recent events have. No, I'm not going to do it. Stephanie, don't do it. I feel like Rodney. Don't do it. Okay. Right. Recent events have reminded me the importance of always leading with love, light, and kindness. It is never okay to blatantly make, comment, post, and or share any type of racially charged and derogatory statements, posts. Like everyone else, I was shocked and saddened at the things that have surfaced online. There is so much deep-seated discrimination and racism rooted in our country, and we all need to do better and work together to make a change. I believe that everyone, no matter their ethnicity, belief, sexuality, or gender identity, it's interesting, she didn't say race, should be treated and afforded with the same level of love, kindness, and respect. XX Whitney Rose. Now, this would be cute if she wasn't talking about somebody that she actually spends time with. And it's like, girl, keep it. It's like, okay, so let's move on to...
I laugh, but can I just say this? That's cute when one of your good friends is an insurrectionist, okay? And
hello?
The girl from last year.
Yeah, because she was supposed to be full-time.
Full-time. And I'm going to tell you, Black people do watch TV differently. I've said it before.
We're
not quick to stand anybody the way they was standing a woman that just showed up in a pink dress and started saying, "Woo, where's the party?" instead of, "Oh, she's funny." And then look what happens. She's an insurrectionist. Yeah. So Whitney, you want
girl. Go. So Meredith Marks, she started with a Martin Luther King Jr. quote, the man that for some odd reason people like to romanticize or give it to Disney edit as if this man died of natural causes and not killed and not assassinated and was not on the FBI's most watched list. That is not a list of people that they like. That is you on their list, you are dangerous. And they got to keep a tab on you.
On them. And
there comes a time when silence is betrayal. Please use your voice to speak out against what is wrong and amplify those that are not being heard. There's no room in this world for hatred. We are all human beings and deserve the same treatment of respect and dignity. Negative commentary rooted in prejudice regarding one's race, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, or gender is vile and should never be tolerated. Educate if it comes from a lack of knowledge, and condemn it if it comes from a place of hatred. I pray to see this world without prejudice. Again, you're acting like you don't fucking know Jenny Wynn. You have not spent time with Jenny Wynn. And I really, hey, hi, dear white people, stop fucking using Martin Luther King. Stop quoting this man when some of your fucking ancestors was calling him a nigger that needs to stop fucking talking. And I hope they string his ass up. Shut the fuck up about Martin Luther King, because y'all know that. Because the thing, in 20 years, y'all gonna be romanticizing Colin Kaepernick because you did it with Muhammad. Y'all did it with Muhammad Ali.
Sure did.
Like, y'all acted like people were like, oh, he's so great. Your grandparents didn't think that, bitch.
And let me tell you, Ron DeSantis, the governor who we talked about earlier, posted a Martin Luther King quote about continuing the fight for equality, and then fights for legislation to be in place that if white people are learning about discrimination or racism, that they are not allowed to be made uncomfortable. He is trying to pass a law that white people cannot be uncomfortable with. The thing about, if y'all love, heritage over hate and history, y'all sure don't like history being taught. Thank you. So he posted a Martin Luther King quote. So for all of you that are clutching your pearls, like,
please don't.
Oh God, he's trying to impose what legislation? He posted a Martin Luther King quote. And let me tell y'all, Martin Luther King had more quotes that y'all probably wouldn't be able to swallow.
On this podcast last year, I read the entire letter from Birmingham jail. And I was like, why nobody is learning this? Because it's like, parts of it. And I hadn't read all of it until I went and found it. I'm like, this thing is long as shit.
You read
and
it?
He did it because his white pastor buddies were silent and didn't want to stand up for him. He's like, this is y'all are men of faith.
Yes.
And y'all are not danger of the white moderate, the well-meaning white person. Like, oh, I agree that we should fight, but can you change your tactic?
Girl.
Why? Us asking nice did not get us anything. We literally had to demand it. Y'all acted like that, like y'all ancestors just gave out the goodness of their heart. The bus boycott was 18 months. It's like we had to fight for everything. We didn't get to ask nice, because if we ask nice, you're like, no, nigger, get on my face.
Talking about Martin Luther King and they just peacefully, and they just, like, y'all
and weaponize him like Martin Luther King would not do that. I'm like, so you don't know his quote about writing is the language of those who are not heard.
I want to read something. Can I read a quote of his?
You sure can.
Because I've heard people saying, again, they want to be educated. Educate me. But then when you educate them, they want to debate your experience, or they want to give you an example when you're telling them. And I can't stand that. And so I'm going to be very clear. This is from Where Do We Go in 1967. This was his quote. Whites, it must frankly be said, are not putting in a similar mass effort to re-educate themselves out of their racial ignorance. It is an aspect of their sense of superiority that the white people of America believe they have so little to learn. The reality of substantial investment to assist Negroes into the 20th century, adjusting to Negro neighbors, and genuine school integration is still a nightmare for all too many white Americans. These are the deepest causes for contemporary abrasions between the races. Loose and easy language about equality, resonant solutions about brotherhood fall pleasantly on the ear. But for the Negro, there is a credibility gap he cannot overlook. He remembers that with each modest advance, the white population promptly raises the argument that the Negro has come far enough. Each step forward accents an ever-present tendency to backlash. I want to repeat again, loose and easy language about equality. So when I have said that y'all can just go back to watching TV for entertainment, because what y'all do is pick and choose when you want to use loose and easy language and who you're going to be held accountable. It can be traumatizing to those of us who have been watching TV, but we let you in and decided to trust you as an ally. Now we're watching you pick and choose. You can keep your loose and easy language.
Yeah, because the thing about that is, it was like, no, it's not the right time, but it sure was the right time after Black Shabbat. All of a sudden you wanted, and it wasn't even the blackness part. It was the Shabbat part. Yeah, I peeped that too.
Mm-hmm. And then they blamed Ebony because the woman evidently had racist posts against Jewish people.
What did that have to do with Ramona? What the fuck is she doing here?
They blamed Ebony for being friends with her, but don't hold Sonia to that same regard about Ramona.
Come on. So, the alleged defrauder and stealer, this was her statement. I rarely believe what I see or hear online. I know firsthand what it feels like to be judged without evidence or an admission of guilt. Girl, what? However, since my RHOSLC cast member has admitted that she made those horrible comments and posts, I must now stand up on behalf of my husband and sons who are African American to say that I'm deeply offended by the racially insensitive posts and comments. It was infuriating to see her like and repost comments that made a mockery of and showed complete apathy toward those killed marching to bring awareness to the deep-seated social justice issues that plague our country. I'm equally disappointed by the disingenuous apology that was issued. Needless to say, we have some real shit to talk about. And this was her caption. Where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out because this is your country. This is your democracy. Make it, protect it, pass it on. That is a quote from Thurgood Marshall. Now, I saw a lot of people, or a few people, not a lot.
Oh, what,
like,
going up for
it's just
her?
a few that was just like, so y'all gonna act like Jen didn't do anything? Find a lie in what she just said. This has like a broken clock is right 2 times a day. This is her turn for being right because one, she did several different things. She admitted that this is painful to her husband and her sons.
Yes. She
didn't say me, even though it should it should hurt everybody.
That's hurtful. Like,
exactly. It's like, it should be hurt for everybody, but I know this affects my husband and my sons. If she had a daughter, she probably would say daughter too. She just happens to have just sons. She doesn't have any daughters, right? She also said how she felt. It was like what the comment said. And then she said, and she brought up the apology.
Thank you.
And it's like, she did all of that. Right. She said she did it. It's like, girl, I know that's right. I was like, okay, Jen, I think you may still be going to jail, but I appreciate you had so far, up until that point, hers had the most teeth.
Yes.
So then we have Lisa's came out before Heather. So Lisa's was, my heart is so heavy, right, girl? I can't. My heart is so heavy right now. I feel true hurt and disappointment by the post that surfaced this week. I do not condone, nor am I aligned with them. The posts were harmful and hurtful to a community I love. Okay, girl. Working for change is constant. It's something that I personally work towards daily. Through action is where we all have the most impact and where we can have change that lasts. I always want to be a support and be, she meant be, it said a proponent for change and improvement. My heart hurts for those hurting. Okay, girl. Lisa, no, I'm gonna come back to you because we gotta talk about Watch What Happens Live. Heather Gay. I can finally speak out today, and I want to say that I'm deeply shocked, saddened, and disappointed by the blatantly racist and derogatory statements reshared and liked by one of my fellow castmates. There can be no haven in this world for hateful, anti-Black, and violent rhetoric. rhetoric, sorry. It is up to all of us to do the work of anti-racism and educate ourselves on the experiences of others. I am constantly learning and wanting to use this platform to lead with love and empathy while condemning actions of ignorance and racism. Black Lives Matter, and I will never stand beside or support anyone who says otherwise. Now,
I was going to say the teeth. Yeah.
Okay. I felt the growl.
Me too.
So now we have basically Heather and Jen. And there was a lot of people who were just going, well, Jen, she's a girl. Find the line what she said.
Yeah.
So Meredith, who was like, what you mean? What was wrong with what I said? Gave us a new statement.
Oh.
Since it was not perfectly clear in my previous tweet, and I can now speak out in more depth. Sidebar. The fact that she's actually saying, now I can say something.
And so did Heather. Did you catch Heather?
I caught that too. And it was like,
because Meredith originally was the first one to speak out, and she tweeted vile.
Vile. That's all shit. Like, what?
Yep. And then that's when she was like, can't speak out yet. And I was like, okay, Bravo.
I was
the
like,
same Bravo that told them not to be talking about Heather saying nigger on the boat. Okay.
Yeah. I am sickened by my coworkers' racist and prejudicial posts that recently surfaced. I do not stand behind or support these posts in any way, shape, or form. I stand with and support the community affected and targeted by this. What community? What community?
The Black community. Right.
I am deeply disturbed and outraged by her actions. Black Lives Matter. You will see repercussions. What y'all gonna do? As difficult as it is, give things a moment to come to light. Know that I do not support this behavior in any way and will continue using my platform to speak out against it. She said Black Lives Matter.
I was gonna say even though I have my thoughts about
it's not terrible.
Heather, Meredith, and
she's like, since it was not
discussion of Jen, but I appreciate what Jen said.
I appreciate what Jen said. It's like, baby, this is your time to be right. You're the broken clock until you may allegedly go to jail.
That's and until later, when you kind of try to make it about yourself by implying that you were going to be fired because when you were actively filming, that was my issue.
It's like, girl, we don't need you to do that.
Like, come on. Why? And now you got people forgetting the Jenny of it all and saying, marching for Jen not being fired because she spoke up. No, the issue is the racism, people.
Correct. Yeah, because now Jen is like, it's very much like, I am a victim here. It's like, Jen, shut up. It's not about you. So
it's about your husband and your son.
Exactly. So now we're waiting outside the Salt Lake City waters and go to other housewives. Okay. And the Eye of Sauron, for you blurs, that's Lord of the Rings. They turned towards Crystal Minkoff and Tiffany Moon. What do y'all think? And so Candace Dillard Bassett, I refuse. If I'm a fan, I'm not going to call myself a Basset hound because that's a dog.
And which we are.
And I'm like, I have gone like, we're now going to be called candy canes. I don't know how long is it.
I may be a bitch, but I'm nobody's dog.
Hello. So it's like, we candy canes. We not Basset hounds. I'm like, no, it's like, you ain't calling me a dog. So Candace put out this thread. I know what it feels like to have to look at oneself in the mirror and grapple with hurtful things I have said. What I also know is that everyone deserves a chance to learn and grow. That's not wrong.
Right.
Jenny must be willing. Sidebar. She's the first person to mention her name.
That's what I was going to say. Girl,
she said her name.
Out. Phaedra Parks now, think about it what you want, but she said the way to kill a snake is to cut the head off. I mean, get right to it. Yeah, I appreciate her.
I was like, yep. Jenny must be willing to first acknowledge that there is a bias and do the work, whether organically or intentionally, of unlearning. This is not something she can do in the public eye, and the Black, Indigenous, people of color her bigoted views target will not let her, because you don't get to do this in public for cookies. You don't. Willing or not, reflection needs to be done away from this platform. We do not deserve to be triggered by the presence of someone who justified unlawful killings of Black people just over 1 year ago in our spaces.
100%. And I was telling Stephanie at first, and I even sent it to another friend at first. I was like, oh, I hate that sometimes us as Black people feel like we have to say a little bit to appease the white folks before we get into it. But Stephanie broke down actually what Candace meant, and it made more sense. And when Stephanie did that, which is why I have to say, I am so glad to be surrounded by Black women. I'm a Black woman. And sometimes, see, what we do is we can break, like, I can take what Stephanie says because Stephanie's been through my experience. And so she's like, sis, look at it this way. And I realized. Yeah.
And you do the same for me. I'm like, okay. It's like, you're right.
So can you break down her the part of the apology? So
the thing about it is, people took that first, and that's the thing about threads. Your first tweet is what people are going to focus on. They're not going to read all the way down.
Yep.
So that first part, everybody's like, why would she say it like that? So her homophobic tweets came out, and people said, see, this is what she had, because, we not scrubbing our stuff or saying like this. So after they came out, Candace did a very comprehensive apology, not just one little thing, one little like notes app.
Yep.
You had to scroll like 3 or 4 times.
And then people got upset that she didn't do it live, that she didn't do it this way.
It's like, girl. And then on top of that, she went on Funky Dineva's platform as well. And I was like, a lot of people not going to do that.
Going to do that, right.
And so there was a clip floating around, I think around after the or either during the season or around the reunion, where they're like, see, he laid her out. I'm like, y'all didn't watch that because I did. He said, if this was me this years ago, this is what I've said to you. So y'all missed that. It's not that part of the clip that was floating around. Funky was like, I have grown. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. But he said, if this was me years ago, this is what would have happened. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, she just sat there and took it. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I was dead ass wrong.
Exactly.
Because the thing about it is, I love how y'all like, nope, look at what Candace said, but y'all be neglecting Portia's sermon about gay people. What the hell?
Because
y'all do not hold her feet to the fire. So just know, And the thing is, when I say this, I'm like, I'm not saying that y'all should, but please recognize it is like we're selective in our outrage.
Yes.
So that was what it was. So Candace started it out with that one. She knows what it feels like. People unearth things, and you're like, I've grown, but I still got to apologize because people who just reading it, I'm like, they don't know me from 10 years ago.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter. Like, it was 10 years ago. I'm like, yeah, but I'm just seeing this shit now, and I like you. So what am I supposed to think?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for what you saw. I'm sorry. I was wrong. And that is just that. But also the running commentary from Andrew Cohen is that you are a disaster.
Girl.
On Twitter. You have no problem reminding her every time you see the whites of her eyeballs to tell her how bad she is on Twitter.
People want me to fire you.
Exactly. So it's like she couldn't put that third tweet first without somebody going, really, Candace? Right. You should know. I mean, your stuff came out. How would you feel?
Somebody in her comment said, I thought you were ignorant, this, that, but I actually like you. I said, and see, this is where you think this is where you think that, to me, you saying all that negates the whole, but I like you, da-da-da-da-da. Because we didn't need all of that.
Yeah. Because whenever somebody says, I like you, but it's like, okay, so anything you just said, you don't mean jack shit about. So when I read if you read the whole thread,
it is good.
It's like, it's different. Y'all saw that first tweet. It's like, what you trying to say? I'm like, she want to have to put a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Yes.
So she got like, y'all can't let the disaster on Twitter come at y'all hard because y'all be like, see, she's a disaster.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, do I like, and also it is not Candace Dillard Bassett's responsibility to rake Jenny Wynn over the coals. She don't know this bitch. She watching it just like everybody else. She has never even, I don't think she's even met her.
Right.
What is she supposed to do? It's like, wait a minute, why are y'all calling her? I'm like, and you're picking apart her statement to a certain extent. It's like, we can look at it like, I wouldn't have said that. It's like, It's fine.
Right.
It basically, that's like any other blue check commenting on Jenny Wynn. She don't know her.
Right. And to be honest, I'm not looking for everybody's comments.
I'm not looking to see what the fuck Candace said.
No. And I'm not looking to see, and whether y'all think this is maybe not nice, I'm really not looking to see what white people say. I'm really not. Because those statements can be composed, written for you.
It can be written. I can write something for you.
Exactly. So I'm not really looking at, if I go through your account and you have one post about 2020, that means nothing to me because you have.
This was a fad for you. I'm not looking to you to be this bright and aware girl. No, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you.
And y'all think we are. And I think that's what prompts y'all. Like, we're not looking for that from y'all at all.
Correct.
But thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, because I'm like, because they're like, I'm confused. I'm like, I'm not confused.
Yep. I was
like, I wasn't confused. When people said they were confused, I'm like, I wasn't. They're like, wait a minute, why you ain't just going to jump it down her throat? Because she don't fucking know Jenny.
Right.
And it's not her responsibility. And y'all better not be coming for Mary to say shit. I'm like, no.
Right.
Mary better not be saying nothing. Mary doesn't need to, like, I don't need to address this. Because
then the focus will be, Mary's not stupid, and the focus will then
she is not
but how could you say this? We're not going to
Girl, shut up. We don't care. We don't care, girl. Shout out to Hershey Kiss TV. Hershey Kiss.
I wish y'all could see Stephanie's face.
I'm acting like a fool. So then people were noticing that Crystal Minkoff and Tiffany Moon unfollowed Jenny. And it was like, ooh, girl, that's like ooh. I'm like, girl, it's not that serious. So then Tiffany today put out her own statement. Many people have asked me, because she was on her anniversary trip. So she's like, girl,
happy anniversary.
I'm getting anniversary dick in Italy. Girl, I don't give a good goddamn.
Right. I'm sexing.
Or maybe she's in France. I don't care. I don't care where she was. I'm like, I'm getting anniversary dick. I don't got time for y'all. Okay. And this is not my circus. I'm in Dallas. And y'all canceled my show.
I was just going to say, so you don't have to confront a racist. So right. So many people have asked me to comment on some social media posts that have recently surfaced from someone I considered girl, when I saw that.
I have not commented because I've been out of the country, did not see the original post, and needed time to collect my thoughts. Now that I have seen the post, I am appalled and saddened. I stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion for everyone. I considered staying silent on this matter, as many will say it's none of my business. Fair. However, I consider it a responsibility for all of us to speak out against any form of discrimination or hatred when we see it. Silence is complicity. Personally, I am saddened that this came from a person I trusted. I had no idea that she posted these insensitive, ignorant, and hurtful messages. However, I believe in leading with love. One who has done wrong will learn much more from those who extend kindness, forgiveness, and the opportunity for education than those who consistently condemn and criticize. Let us take this opportunity to enable each other to have respect and meaningful conversations so that together we can learn, grow, and heal. I need some water.
So we can learn, grow, and heal. When did we start speaking French?
Dear Dr. Moon, you could have literally took that last paragraph out. No one asked you to rake her over the coals. But madam, there were many a Black content creator, one that talks about Bravo and everything else. One of them, most notably, Brandon Good, had no problem jumping down Cameron Westcott's ass and her family. Taria is one of them. Kiki, Monique, Monty, Kendrick, Kaya, and Aaron. They dug in her ass for you. It did not matter. Fuck this leading with love shit. Your friend is dead ass wrong. It's like, I believe, you're only saying that because that's your friend. And here goes Stephanie with her fucking nuance chip.
Yeah.
So let me say this.
Which has taught me a lot.
If I had a friend.
If Taria said something inappropriate, that's what she wants to say. Go ahead.
Taria, I'd slap her silly. So.
She would. Stephanie would check me. Stephanie would check me so hard, y'all could call me the scum of the earth.
My mom was the same way. She's like, I learned so much from you. She was like,
you're right. If Stephanie checked me, it would be like, no, checking is good. I'm not going to say that.
But it's like if you had did this, if your friend had did something very if I am a Black lady, if I had a friend who said stuff disparagingly about, Hispanic or Latina folks, if they said something about Asian folks, Muslims, but Muslims are not a race, that's a religion, but Middle Eastern folks, indigenous folks, LGBTQ plus, if that got out and they're like, oh my God, this is your friend.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be raking them over the coals either. So that part, it's like, I get what she is trying to say. It's like, it's not confusion for me. It's like, I get what you're trying to say. I kind of wish you had edited that out.
I just wish you had addressed.
It's kind of like
address the thing. That's it.
Right. Especially if it's like, it's not. So here's the thing about Jenny. It's not that she didn't know this shit was problematic. It's just, it wasn't towards a community she thought people would care about. So, ma'am, you're not saying this about Jewish folks, because for some people, they think only white people are Jewish. That's not how any religion works. It's like, no, that's not how that works. It's like, girl, what you doing? It's like, that's not how it works. So if she had been saying this about Irish people, they're like, what the hell are you trying to say? I'm like,
yeah.
So it's like, I get it. When your friends fuck up, you're like, I can't be that person. But also, you don't have to say anything. You are not required. It's like, many people have asked me to comment. You could tell them to go scratch. Right. This is not your responsibility, but it's one, bitch, you just met her ass. This is not your sister. You are not Lauren, and she is not Portia. That you have to explain. Because I've contended Lauren is not Portia Williams's mama. So why are y'all charging her with growing her task and educating her? She is not her mama. Exactly. It's like, that's not fair to Lauren. Lauren got her own fucking life to live.
Yep.
And Portia's 40. And Lauren's her younger sister. If y'all don't go to hell, go directly to hell. Drag her to hell. Where's that lady with the goat? Cast the curse. I'm just kidding. Don't cast the curse. I want to go to hell. I don't want that. I'm going too far.
What is it when you take it back with an R? I was going to say, oh man, I can't think of the word, but basically, like that ain't what she meant, Jesus.
No, I do not mean that at all, Lord. Please, no, I'm not wishing that on nobody. No, I don't wish eternal damnation. Though. It was funny. I'm not wishing eternal damnation. See Fresh and Fit? Shit can be funny without being stupid and problematic. Nope. So the thing about it is with Tiffany,
y'all are neither fresh nor really. Okay, let me be quiet,
girl. So the thing about it is like, so shout out to All True T, because she be having all this stuff. But the thing about it is, Tiffany, you are not required to say anything, but y'all are saying, oh, she got to say something. She kind of don't have to. I promise y'all, she could have not said anything. I promise you it's okay. So our cousins from The Reality is distant cousins for me, because I haven't been on that podcast yet. They haven't been here. So it's distant cousins. I mean, they still in the Bravo content family. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm the adopted child because I'm technically not a Bravo podcast, but here we are.
Exactly. I'm on my way to be there. I'm emancipating. So.
Okay. So this is what Noor from The Reality is posted under Tiffany's statement. I think it is on as on us as part of the Asian community to lead with love and re-educate so that we can fix the deep racism within our community, whether it's through education or conversation. It is our responsibility to teach our own communities, and that's where we can lead with love. So I hope this is a call to action for our own and not Black and brown folks who are rightfully hurt and angry as hell. Black folks do not need to show her any love, compassion, forgiveness on any conversations until Jenny and people like her for real fixes this issues themselves. Growth and healing can only come with the person takes ownership of their own actions. Forgiveness is earned.
Come on, Noor, because I know that's a shout out to the Reality is Pie, but I think Noor runs.
Yeah.
She's probably speaking for both of them, of course, but
she might be. So Tiffany Moon said, agree 100%. And thank you for putting that so eloquently. I swear, there are social media managers that will help y'all write stuff. Right. I promise you.
And guess what? It could be from somebody from a community and not the standard. Okay.
So I appreciate her saying that because one, that is true. It's like you should always lead with love. Mm-hmm. But sometimes love is tough.
Thank you. Love is, and
it's like always... love is tough. It's not always like I'm gonna slap you around. Mm-hmm. But yeah, forgiveness is earned. Also, if you apologize, that is not automatic. Oh, I can forgive you. That's not how that works.
Yep.
Especially when your apology is bullshit. Even if it wasn't bullshit, it's like give people time. It's not a light switch. Forgiveness is no light switch, and y'all need to stop that. So. I don't think Crystal has said anything, and I hope that husband of hers that has also the same birthday as me and Lindsay Hubbard, and who directed The Lion King, she better not say shit. And because one, I don't think that's her responsibility either. I just want to make sure I don't see any stuff before I say something. Girl, I'm going to say something, and I hope she doesn't say a goddamn thing. So as of right now, she has said nothing. And honestly, I feel like that is fine because one, why are we looking at the Black housewives? It's like, oh my God, let's see what she says.
Girl,
we look at the two East Asian housewives that we currently have and say, what do y'all think? But y'all are not coming. I'm sorry. Did you ask Lisa Vanderpump what she think? Did you ask Kyle Richards what she think? Did you ask Luann? Did you ask Sonia? Did you ask Teresa? Did you ask Dolores? Did you ask Margaret?
Right.
Did you ask Gina? Did you ask Emily?
Girl.
What? Why are you not asking these white ladies? It's like, excuse me, offense to some should be an offense to everybody.
Oh, because Martin Luther King.
Like, we're not doing this with y'all. Stop asking all of the like. Oh, it's like it's your community. How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel?
Yep.
Stop asking me what I feel. What do you feel? Well, it didn't really affect me. Racism affects everybody. Y'all should be upset.
I say this with love because I have realized some truths. I am not intimidating. You're intimidated. There's a difference. I don't take up too much space. You're just used to people playing small. My inner light is not too bright. You're just used to dimming your own. I am not mean nor aggressive. I am honest and assertive, and that makes you uncomfortable. And I do not make you uncomfortable. My presence challenges your comfort. All of that is yours. I will not be less for you to feel better about yourself. Own your stuff.